For me, being here has, well, for starters, completely turned around my idea of what a shelter would look like.
I actually feel good to be here because it's a place that I can be, and it's structured, and it's just, good people all around me to keep me focused on the way I'm doing here. I'm not embarrassed because I'm here.
I found friends here that I didn't expect.
Like my story, it is personal, but I can say what ended me up here, there've been a lot of heartaches and struggles.
I was in transitional housing. I was locked up, and when I got out, I had no place to go. I used to own my own houses, and after being locked up, I didn't own them no more.
I ended up being homeless. It's been kind of on and off for me for about a year now.
I can't exactly just come out and say all the circumstantial, but there has been a lot of things, as I get older and, trying to become a productive citizen, I come into, these walls that block me from, progressing and stuff, Sometimes, it's my fault, sometimes just things that we can't even, control, So, there've been a lot of, struggles in my lifetime, ever since I was a kid and stuff that led me to the shelter.
So when I got out, I had no place safe to go. Now, I could have stayed with somebody, but I wasn't safe. And I wanted to go to an environment that was safe and kept me safe.
Just recently, I've been going through kind of a nasty divorce and had some financial issues, and got 2 little kids I'm trying to take care of, so I decided I needed to start calling some shelters and figuring out where to sleep at night.
I was married 22 years, and I came here because of my divorce, a bad divorce.
But because I felt safe here, and I wasn't safe anyplace else.
I thought I would have trouble being here with strangers, but like I said, they're more like family. We get up, turn on the lights about 8 o'clock, and everybody just kind of gets up and has coffee, sits and chats, and then we have our morning meeting.
It's like a little motivational meeting, like a little prep, talk before we go on and do what we have to do. We have a box in the middle of the table, and it's a cardboard box, and people, they write down little things and just what they thankful for and just ideals and stuff, and they put it in that box.
But I enjoy the box. I like the blessings too.
That's kind of what this box is, a box of love.
I am working towards my goals, first of all, by trying to hold my job.
To get my own place again, because after my divorce, that was 22 years, so I am looking for my own place now.
It feels like I'm always starting over, but this time I'm really trying to use what I can get from OBK and move on and hopefully get in a good supportive environment.
My kids are my mainstay. They keep me going.
I will stay out of trouble and all the other things that come along with that, and get a job and just be a productive citizen, wherever I may end up.
They're everything I need to get my life back on track and to tell myself that I really do need to work towards something to get myself somewhere and give my children the best life possible.
Hi, my name is Jim.
I'm Becky Shananaquit.
About 3 years ago, my wife and I heard about Our Brothers Shelter. We decided that this was a ministry area that we could do together as husband and wife as an outreach.
So some of the girls that didn't know how to cook and they have kids or they're pregnant, they would, when I cooked big dinners, they would stand, there's 2 doors, So they would stand at the door and watch me, you know, and ask me how I was doing that or why I was doing it. They would ask, you know, what are you putting in there? And I would tell them, you know, we would talk, they would stand there. So I really like that we get to conversate.
There's a couple that come in and, you know, they cook meals for the entire place, or, you know, they put in a lot of extra effort cleaning, or just walking around saying hi to people and laughing and making people feel good.
Being a volunteer here at the shelter is really very simple. There are 4-hour shifts generally, except for the overnight shift is 8 hours. And you work in teams of 2, so you're never alone. When a person is first checked in, going over with the person the ground rules, expectations, things like that when they are first admitted, if you will, enrolled as a guest. Other duties might be more labor intensive when someone checks out, for helping that person clean up their bunk, clear out their area, and then getting it ready and prepared for a next guest. Helping if a person needs some supplies out of the supplies closet, some shampoo or personal items of that sort. Answering the phone, taking messages.
I believe the support system here is really good, and I like how the volunteers come even after they've been working all day or doing what they're doing, they still make time to come and spend time with the people at the shelter. And a lot of them are, you know, very motivating, and they talk to you and they want to get to know you, and they always offer a helping hand in anything that you need.
Personally, volunteering has impacted me as just another way for me to express my love for Christ. Jesus asked Peter, "Do you love me?" Peter said, "Yes, of course I do. You know I do." And then Jesus said to him, "Then take care of my sheep." Sometimes it's really nothing more than just being here, but often that's all that a person needs, is someone just to be here.
If somebody's hungry and you give them a fish, they only eat for one day. But if you show them how to fish, they eat for a lifetime.
My interactions with the volunteers have all been absolutely incredible. They're amazing people, giving their time and their money and putting real effort towards making life here incredible for people.
Because it helps me feel good.
That's my favorite story. There was a lot of public attention about an animal shelter here, and another of our founders wrote a letter to the editor saying, well, what about our homeless people? And that just really struck me in the heart, so I took that back to my small group, and we realized that we were the ones who were being called to start it, and we did.
It's a wonderful faith-based place where those that are homeless to come and stay. It's a temporary stop until they can find a job, new housing, anything to better themselves.
Some guests need to find housing here, and that's a big challenge because there is not very much affordable housing here at all. Some guests need to find an employment so that they can afford housing. Some guests just need to find a way to get back home, wherever that is, and we can help with all of those things.
We have seen families get back together. We've seen families get housing. We've seen single individuals get housing. We've had young people that come in and they get their GEDs, they get jobs, they get housing, or they go back with families. So we do see a lot of positive things that happen. The guests here become like families.
We try to model a typical day during the week as, you know, a working schedule. So we have guests get up in the morning, make their beds, attend a morning meeting where they organize their thoughts and their plans for the day to work towards achieving housing or a job. And we have meal times. Then they go to bed at a certain time as well. We just try to keep them on a schedule that would be appropriate for their life as a working person. They feed themselves, they cook meals. Sometimes in the evening, though, they have community meals where they all participate. We have people that donate their time, the volunteers. We have the different churches that support us financially. Well, we are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, so their donations are tax deductible. You can call and just say you'd like to make a donation, or you can show up at the door. We don't turn anything away. You know, we find use for all donations. There are many ways to volunteer, but our primary need is for volunteers to monitor the shelter. There's a great need for volunteers. What you do is you call up and say you'd like to volunteer, and then we have training sessions, and you come in and you train, and then you would monitor with an experienced volunteer. And then when you feel comfortable being on shift by yourself, then you could sign up. We always encourage people to bring their spouse or a friend so they can volunteer with a buddy, because that makes it all more comfortable. But it's really easy to volunteer. 231-629-8033.